Hey everybody, welcome to Granblue Radio. It is the day after Valentine's Day. Well, 2 days after Valentine's Day if you're in Japan. This is episode number 356, I believe. We are talking about um, it's chocolate season, so let's get into it. First of all, DJ, congratulations on it being Frau's year to get Valentine's art.
Yay.
Um,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I am amused that this year's messages have a extra one for like every year they just do something weird with the chocolates, and so this year, um, what is it? Galleon gives you a tree, UL gives you a UL made of chocolate. It's it's all very strange. Anyway, let's go talk about the characters, shall we?
Yeah, so two came out like
Do
we do
you
every year.
Yeah, do you have both of them or was it just one of them?
Only Cidala.
Only Cidala? Okay, I'll ask you about Cidala then because like the short fight stuff is very easy, right? Like the Cidala method for people who are Oreshka Gelmashers or just people who just want to hit the attack button a bunch of times. So it's like they start with coupled confection, which is a 3-turn buff, which supplements their normal attack damage.
By 50k.
They have a 2-hit flurry, and they activate their skill 3 nuke after normal attacks.
Yeah, that is really good.
Yeah, it's raid
Because
wide
those
supplemental.
uh, not only that, it's stacking up to 40% and also remove the debuff. I mean, removes a buff. I didn't even know that had that until I brought it to another fight.
Yeah, and so like that's the easiest thing to understand about them, where it's like you just hit the attack button 3 times and they do a ton of damage because do they have guaranteed triple with
No, it's
okay.
on skill 1 when you
Okay.
have the magic tiger ingredient.
Okay. So in order to have the like press the attack button thing and their triple attacking, you have to have summoned death, basically.
I mean, they give 50% TA. That's good enough.
Or 50%? Yeah, okay. Because I did see there were setups where you can get them to 100%, and it was like, um, it was, all of the standard modifiers that you add in. It's like Trium on your Ultima and I think like Halmal in the back line, it not in the back line, Halmal sub summon
Summon.
effects, etc., etc., etc. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah, you don't need to though. That's like
okay,
taking up extra space when you can have like a better weapon there. For
okay,
example,
all right. Um,
like their multi attack is serviceable, and also they always deal at least double.
okay, all right. So with that out of the way, like the obvious part, how's the rest of that kit? Because you said you've taken them to other fights and done more than just hit the attack button. So, like, what's it like?
Uh, so they cheat out their CA with their cooldowns with their CA, by the way, and
S
also skill 1 gives uplift anyways to everybody. It's a 10% uplift for 3 turns.
Okay. And
And going with the increased triple attack, usually around turn 3, they're gonna CA.
okay, and so it says additional effect. When do you get the additional effect on this? Is it when when they have magic tiger ingredient there?
Yes, and to
Okay.
get Magic Tiger ingredient, go to Moly Tiger Kyun.
Okay, so Tide of Chaos, which is the 4 chain or higher.
Yeah, and that's really easy to get in Dark.
Hmm.
It's easy setup. You sometimes you don't even have to think about it.
A lot
And
of the
when
time, yeah, I was gonna say it's like characters can just do it with 2 of them because there's so much CA reactivate right now.
yep, Halmalo can CA reactivate on their own. Uh, Bedio can CA reactivate on their own.
With the current like trends of GBF, also Crusaor is getting more and more popular, and Crusaor can like 2 or 3 chain on its own as well. So yeah, so that's easy. Okay, and so let's see. You get a 4 chain. They get Magic Tiger ingredient. The next linked skill activates both of them, and you get the extra effect. So it's not based on
Yep.
Tiger Tape this time. It was just as long as you have Moy Tiger Q and the Magic Tiger thing, then they'll get both, and the
Yep.
boosted version of both.
It's a 10 turn cooldown. You're cheating it out. Usually, that usually ends up around like 7 turns. That's fine. That's actually a decent number,
So it's
especially
three
with
out
how
of
powerful these things.
yeah, so 3 out of 7 ish. Okay. And then all right, so when you have both of them up, what are they? So the strength, how high does that go? Do you know? Or is it just strong?
20%, minimum 10.
Okay. And then the triple attack up to everybody, it's not
It's
guaranteed, but it's good.
it's
I take it.
50%,
Oh, okay.
and that's good.
That's really good.
And when you have the magic tire ingredient, it's guaranteed for Shadala. Also, they get a 10% chaser for that turn.
Okay. And it lasts a turn and not last one hit, which sometimes
Correct.
matters. Okay. Do they have an attack out of turn button? They don't, right?
Nope.
Okay, because their regular version has a way to do double striking, but they don't. Okay. Um,
Well, that regular version also requires you to take a turn off. So
true. All right, and then the uplift is that the standard 10 for 3 turns?
10% for 3 turns.
Okay. Yeah, you can do things like team them up with their divine general mate Vikala, and it'll be 15 every turn. So Vikala is just a really good character and works quite well with this. All right, so then we move on to the second half of this. There's the armor.
Silver Tiger, 100% for 30% armor.
30% is a very
Two
strong number. Yeah.
2,000 damage mitigates.
Is it 2000 and not like 2022 or anything like
It's
that?
just 2,000.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I'm just curious because they tend to like sneaking that year number in there.
Yeah, these girls don't have those numbers.
Okay. Then the refresh. Is it refresh or revitalize? It's
Refresh 1,000, but
refresh. Okay.
if you have magic tire ingredients, you have an all sub dodge all.
Oh, so that's where that is, and they don't have to take a turn off for it. I
No,
understand.
they just have to have the resource available.
Oh, okay. That's very strong whenever it's available. And then yeah, so you said that like the standard thing is for the first 3 turns they'll swing. Around the third or fourth turn you're four chaining, and then you get this magical tiger for like the turn 6 or 7. You said ish.
No, around turn 3, unless you turn it off, you'll be four chaining.
Right, but the next link skill cast is around turn 6 or 7 is what I meant, based on what you were
Yeah,
figuring out. Okay.
around there.
And then so for turns like 7 through 9 or so, you'll have all of these, and they'll be pretty mighty. Okay.
I
Yeah.
know they just do a lot of good damage in a nutshell. Like because like how the grid is set up already,
Hmm.
with you're already like trying to get as much supplemental right in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Your first 3 turns are amazing in the first place. You still have decent damage going through afterwards,
Hmm.
just because of just you're building stuff back.
Yeah. So from what I've seen, like they're slightly above the like Tira Bowman level, and right around where like Yukata Ilsa and Six are in terms of just damage over like very specific intervals that people look at.
Yep, and they help both
Yeah.
both sets of those characters you listed. They help because there's nothing that doesn't like supplemental damage.
Hmm.
It is not a local debuff, as we said before.
Hmm.
So it can miss, and B, that's why you have the debuff success node for your EMP as well.
Okay. Yeah.
But also, you can just keep up timing it as a result, because uh even though you only have it for the first 3 turns, your first 3 turns are pretty fast, and people are reloading already in the first place. Let's be honest.
Hmm.
So you should be able to at least be able to keep it back up. So the strength of it is actually 3,000, and it stacks up to 30k.
Okay, so it stacks 10 times then.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering if it was a 3 time or a 10 time. Okay. So the first so they'll cast it the first turn probably. Then they'll cast it 3 more times while coupled confection is up. So that gets you to 12k. Then
If
it
you don't see it on third turn,
hmm and it cools
this is
down.
only normal attacks.
Okay. and then it cools down naturally around turn 5 or so because of the CA thing. Well, naturally is a misnomer, but you know what I mean. Like in the course of normal play.
Mission Chocolate does not go down.
Oh, it's only the linked school cooldowns that go down. Okay, so they don't cheat this one. They cheat this one by getting the coupled confection effect back.
Yeah, you have to play your turns fairly fast enough.
Hmm. But that is still a
If you
very
have
strong
and,
cycle.
and if you have another person who's also using Shidala, then probably sitting fine.
Yeah, you're good friends. It's true. So yeah, really good stuff there.
Yeah. Also, once again, this can be dispelled because it's just a normal debuff.
Hmm.
So that's also another thing to note about about using them. But
Okay.
overall, this is just a good amount of damage.
Also, can I mention that this is one of the ugliest weapons they've ever made in this game? Like the third stripe of the streak. Like I understand it says over here that it was created by a 12-year-old and like was just
At least it looks like a bow.
does it?
Yeah, I see the bow and arrow.
I see a ribbon that's kind of like a bow, but yeah, I understand. But yeah, like it is just funny to look at where it's just like it started as a bow and then they did 12-year-old things to it, just kept slapping on things until it's unrecognizable. So supposedly there's another arrow that can negate the effects, but it was lost because the sisters got into a fight. Yeah, yeah. Um, is this persistent skill actually like important or is it not?
No,
Because okay, I was gonna
it's
say it's
a
like
it caps out 30K.
so it's still it's 30K you said?
Yep.
And it is probably conflicting with or sharing the same cap with pain and suffering, or
Yep.
is it a
It's
different?
it's
Yeah,
just like the dagger.
yeah. Okay, never mind then. But yeah, I just wanted to point out this thing is ugly as sin, and it was done so on purpose. They knew what they were doing. All right. The second one is a little more like difficult to comprehend in terms of kit because like the original Nehan, he just lets your entire team go ham. This Nehan is much more focused on like single characters. Um, and the combo potential is there, but it's not as easy to unlock, I guess, because all right, so he still has the long ass cooldowns, but his CA cuts those down. So, but he doesn't have a way to mega charge the entire other team, like the rest of the team's meter gain, which is one of the things that really makes like light Nehan tick as an engine. And so, like, it's really about these two things right here and how you can use those. So there's sweet treatment, which is 8 turns. It's not permanent. Um, of the following buffs. So there's DA rate up, which is a
That's
nothing thing.
guaranteed.
It is guaranteed, so that's good. But there's wind damage lowered,
50%.
which is very strong. Then we get to the stuff that is actually like marquee. So there's normal attack amp.
10%.
Um, there is elemental superiority with is boosted damage. Is that also amp? No, it's crit, isn't it?
It's crit. It's 20% crit.
Okay. And then drain,
2,000.
which is a pretty good number for a drain, but really it's the 10% normal attack amp that's like the marquee here. Then there's nourishment, and this one is really funny because it is Grand Eugen's auto ignition. So you charge attack, and then immediately after you charge attack, you get 100 meter. You get weapon burst very specifically. You don't get 100 meter. You get instant CA standby, as far as I understand it. That's what the Japanese says, at least. And then at the very end of it, after 2 turns have passed, and you've done this for 2 turns, then you also get the CA reactivation.
Yeah, I like the wording where it's like when you see a you go back to 100 meter.
Yeah. The things that I've seen with this, once again, we talk about the rise of Crusader as a very effective class, and with Crusader, you can see it because Crusader gives itself 2 turns of CA reactivate. Then you get like 4 CAs on the first turn because of dual arts and like I forget what the other one's called, blade swap or something like that. I can't remember which one it is that gives you um, the full effect. I think it's dual. Oh, it might be Deuce Xiphos because you get dual strike or something like that. Anyway, um, I'll have to look again. But there are ways that you can continue feeding nourishment to a character and have them like CA for something like 15 turns in a row, and that's through the effects of like falsehood, um, falsehood opus, which would normally cut your CA game by 100%. So like there's a lot of potential in there. The question is if that's kind of worth it, right? Where you're putting a character slot in order to turbocharge one character's CA is like a lot.
Yes, this works with the Belial key because you are setting yourself to 100. You're not gaining 100.
Yeah. Like I said, you can do this through falsehood, um, just like Berserker and falsehood stuff. And then the last one here, the skill is Elysium, shield to fire allies. Do you have the
It's a
number
10k
for
shield.
10k is good.
It takes 25% of max HP. So if you're below 25%, if he is below 25% max HP, good luck.
Mhm.
Can't.
Uh, the buffs can't be removed for 5 turns.
5 turns. So it stays on even
Mhm.
after it's been used.
And then sharp boost to debuff resistance. Is
That
it
one's funny.
100?
It's 200%.
200%? All right.
I
Um,
wonder what raid they decided to go into that says that
I
they've been
think
they got hit with the debuff resistance down.
didn't I think Anubis does it? I think it's on the list of many things that Anubis will try to put on you. Anyway, so his support skills, he has the Nehan standard of low defense, high dodge, and then if he doesn't take damage, he
It's
shoots his
different
gun.
because he doesn't have to dodge.
Oh, he just didn't have to take damage. Okay, so
Yeah,
it's similar but different. Okay.
yeah, the same damage too, but he just doesn't have to take damage. That's why the shield matters a lot.
Ah, okay. I That's an interesting update to that. And then wholeness. So whoever has sweet treatment has tank encounter, which makes use of the wind damage lowered. Um, and then when that person CAs, which is where nourishment comes in, because you'll probably have sweet treatment and nourishment on the same character, the Nehan gets 20% charge bar. And then the mitigate damage taken is that the wording is on this is a little weird. Do you know who this goes to?
It should be Neon who gets it
It's Nehan who
because
gets it. Okay.
he doesn't want to take damage.
Okay.
You want the first person to take damage. They have taken counter.
Right. Um, and so, given that he came out 2 months after another Fire like super support in Christmas Noah, like Christmas Noah has very clear uses, and Nehan's a little harder to unlock, like we mentioned. Like there's stuff you can do with him. I've seen a lot of the content creators just like playing around and doing combo style videos. Uh, Once again, like uh Falsehood main hand MC, Lord of Flames, Crusader MC doing a gajillion CAs and then feeding those back into Nehan because when a when a Crusader MC with the nourishment and sweet treatment buff goes through their turns, then Nehan gains 80 meter, you know, just casually, so he can get this back real fast. But yeah, we'll see. Um,
Things that it interacts with. He gives a shield. That shield's pretty good. It's Kaza loves shields.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, Also Medusa. Medusa likes not being hit.
Mm-hmm.
10,000 is very beefy to not be hit with.
True. Um, Other characters who really, really want to CA and fire. Uh, Willness gets kind of rewarded for doing it every other turn, so it's a little
Yeah,
weird
but
there.
it's still a lot of damage.
It is
But
a
you're
ton.
it's technically better on Percival, so you ramp up your
You're
stuff
singed.
better.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Zeta doesn't want to CA very often.
Also getting well, she gets set to 100, so it doesn't help.
Yeah, also true. Hmm,
I mean, it allows her to CA that I guess, but
right. It means
Mirren
that
likes
after.
CAing, but
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Mirren is also just good at CAing naturally by herself.
Hmm. So yeah, it's a lot about dance partners, and it's hard to just think about, like, on my end at least, the dance partners that justify his use over the other super supports, right? Like, Michael only gives you one turn of CA reactivate and one turn of the uh CA instant CA standby, but the rest of the kit is more generically useful for the whole team and like raid content because dispelling is never going to be bad, right?
These
Like,
feels never bad.
yeah. And so yeah, does Noah also dispel? I forget. He does. Yep.
No one does
Okay.
like everything.
Yeah, he really does everything. And then you have other like big supports, like you got Sylph lurking over here. Vera can we got Vera and Agielba as tanks. Does Agielba do anything meaningful on his C? I don't think he does because it's just like a nuke, right? He just does his nuke and it's 20% meter back. I think so.
Yeah, but he gives you guaranteed triple attack and jams.
Yeah. And
So
then
that helps with just building meter for everybody else.
true.
But
Vera,
he doesn't want to be given in return, I guess.
yeah, Vera on her CA, um, it ends the cooldown for her skill one twice? Question mark? Yeah, that's not really a thing.
Also, she like auto ditches herself
Yeah,
already. She doesn't need it.
true. Satyr, Satyr's funny to give all that meter to.
Yeah, but it's not good.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, I think this character will rise in use over time, but I don't think this is his time right now. That's my theory. I could be wrong. Like,
Uh, I guess Mugen. You can give it to Mugen so he can do more buffs.
let's see. Frau has a cooldown ender on her CA, so that's not really a thing. Not the
I
same way.
mean, it's still useful. You don't care about CA reactivate at all. You just CA.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, considering that her other skill that makes it so on her auto she does it costs half her health.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah. And then Alanon already has the reactivate part, and really, on a lot of Alanon teams, you aren't trying to CA. Hmm.
But you can, and also it's not bad because
It's not.
he double CAs because of his 12 turn uptime of his 12 turn cooldown field.
Yeah. Hmm. Shiva gets a one turn cooldown cut. That's not so bad. He's got some cooldowns that you like getting back. But still, like, it's a very much about what dance partners that you bring to the team with Nehan, and you know, there's other supports that are vying for that position because you only get 3 spots. 4 if you're a Street King.
The funny thing is, the maids is a funny one because
Oh,
they delay on their CA.
that's a good point, actually. The summer maids are fun. I underuse these characters. These characters are pretty nice. Let's see. So amp. So that's an amp normal fight for in fight impact. Then splash flame
Is the
is
delay is the
the
one
delay.
you won't care about for just CAing over and over again.
Okay. And then what's mermaids do specifically? Is it both of
Both.
those? Okay.
It does both. Also does more damage by a
Okay.
lot. It's an unworldly CA.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the
Remind me, does
mermaids.
Made Mentum stop? Does it ever go down, or once it's three, is it three?
It never goes down.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoy these characters, and I should probably find more uses for them. So maybe I'll try that. What is it? Gun team? Yeah, melee gun. They're melee gun friends.
I mean,
Is
you have Gun and Silva and Yukata.
I don't personally have that, but that's a fixable problem. You know, I was just also looking at like Bro, Zarya. Here's gun. Noah. Sometimes we forget that Noah's got a gun.
Flame Rockham, I guess. I don't know.
Basically. All right. So anything else to say about Valentine's, Nehan?
We'll see what if the next fire general is gonna bring CAs,
Yeah, that's true too.
because we only have one fire general that is straight up fire, not their second form is fire.
Hmm.
Yeah, but if, the moment they print something that's like really heavy focus on CAs, it has a chance, but then you still have to fight Noah.
Fight Noah, fight Michael. Yeah. All right. Um, that's pretty much the book there. All right. So other things that happened over the last week. We got our raid rebalance on the 13th, and so the first time we talked about Agastya, we were like, this is not enough, and it wasn't. So, have you done Agastya much since the change?
I've been full autoing Agostia.
Yeah, I still can't full auto Agastya. My grid is much worse than yours. So we have two very different perspectives on Agastya, and I'm interested in hearing yours. So, um, the effect of the damage mitigation buff from Agastya Beam, like the initial damage reduction that Agastya gets, is what, halved now, I think? It's like minus 500k or something like that. It's not 500k, I can't remember the exact number, but the point is, I can do damage through it now instead of just seeing a bunch of zeros. And that's with, an old Lumi sword grid. Do you have like the hopeful like Harmonia Rene setup?
Nope.
Okay. Are you Symmetra-ing? Symmetria-ing?
I have one Symmetria because I hate fighting Cosmos.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
Go ahead.
even without that Symmetria, and with just the Harmonious, I'm still able to hit the damage.
Yeah. Okay. So they took away the 90% trigger, which was one of the big things that just I was never able to break that thing. Just I couldn't. And so that's been removed. The easier omen cancels, so they went from 60 hits to 30 hits, which I can actually break now because I can actually press buttons and they do more than 0 damage. So that one's there. 10 debuffs. Whoops, go ahead.
Wasn't the first trigger the 30 hit to begin with?
Yeah. So the 90% is gone, which was 30 hit. The 75% is still there. That's 10 debuffs, which was always like, if you can do it, you can do it. You know, like there's nothing preventing you raid balance wise from hitting 10 debuffs. And then 60%
Well,
is back to.
there is
Oh, go ahead.
one is if you eat one of his CAs,
Oh, and it puts up the debuff
debuff
resistance buff.
resist.
Yeah.
That's the only one that will make it so that you can't actually finish that one.
Hmm.
I see that a lot in full auto, by the way.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, and then all range hell. It no longer death spirals you. Like it does less damage, so it won't insta kill you if you're not blocking, which is I think another thing that contributes to that full auto like working now.
Yeah, we're not here for a long time. We're here to get 4 mil
Four
wave.
million. And it no longer extends ally skill cooldowns, which was another big part of the death spiral of joining late. Like the the damage mitigation reduction and if you actually eat an all range hell, you don't just lose the ability to play the game. Those are big for me because yeah, these were huge problems for me because I couldn't do hits. I couldn't do yeah. Anyway, it was bad. It's less bad now. And then yeah, the Zepto Exit Cannon, which is the one that comes after 40%, also no longer extends your skill cooldowns. So I mean, since you've been having this on full auto, I mean, you're doing fine. It sounds like.
Yeah, I'm not thinking. And also, this thing dies faster now as a result of not having the damage mitigate. It's being that bad.
Yeah. On my end, like, so I've done a couple of changes to my team for that fight, which just I'm much less focused on defense now, and I can actually just fight and not try to outlast the whole thing. Like, this is the old team, right? It's got 3 healers on it. The new team over here has Saruel, and he just wants to go. He wants to CA. He wants to chain burst. You know,
That's actually mostly my team. The difference is that I have Juliet.
instead of Rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then in the back row is actually Aglovale because he doesn't care if he's in front or not for giving a crest.
Hmm. Yeah, and so it's like I've got a very farmable grid except for the main hand, and the main hand, honestly, I don't have to have this anymore. It's just convenient. So it became a lot more accessible for players at my level of grid. That's for sure.
It's kind of needed because you're still taking damage. You need to heal off a lot of things.
Hmm. But like I can get to 4 million in like 8 to 10 turns now. Before that was impossible. It took like 16 or 17. It was it was not fun. I had complained constantly about that, and my complaints are mostly gone.
No, this fight's still not fun. I would never say this fight's ever fun.
I mean, that is fair. Just the thing is, I hate it a lot less. There's a lot less things factors that are keeping me from, like I said, playing the game, which there were before.
It'll be nice if you could remove the immune to delay in the last phase. Then
Yeah,
the fight will be fine.
yeah. The thing is that one, um, basically you have to own the character Cosmos to get around to that. If you don't have that, then yeah, you're still SOL for a late join. But people at the moment, at least, are joining early and beating the crap out of it. Like it's just happening. Like, hey, it's already full. And so a lot of the old Agastias that would just lie fallow, 1 out of 6, 15 minutes have passed, the host has retreated. I haven't seen those. People just join and fight it. So I believe this is overall a positive change.
Yeah, the only issue is that it doesn't have enough honors, like
Hmm.
for a full 6. A lot of these don't, to be
Yeah.
honest.
They were designed for you breaking more omens, and a lot of these are breaking less and less omens. It's true.
Yeah, we're just ignoring door opens.
Hmm. All right. So, um, the next 3 things all affect the 7-star raids. So, Lucilius, Beelzebub, and Belial. So Lucilius, this is a change that only affects pubbing. The countdown now wipes the raid when 18 characters have died instead of 6. If 18 characters have died, the entire raid is pretty much dead anyway. Like that's 3 entire players worth.
Yeah,
It takes concerted effort to get 18 characters to die at this point. And so yeah, this made pubbing a lot easier. So good, thanks.
I
Um,
like it.
yeah, the bubs change is that when your characters are knocked out, Beelzebub no longer removes debuffs and heals.
You just
Mo-
look at the attack buff, right?
yes,
And
I
that's fine.
believe. Actually, maybe not. I don't know if you get the attack buff. The attack buff just comes from Beelzebub getting getting special actions off. Or oh, was there a separate attack buff also? I think there was. It's been a while.
It's the one that gives him like a billion attack percentage.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. So next up, we got yeah, the this one also affects pubbing mostly, by the way, because like when people full auto and walk away, a huge number of them just die to 50%, and their characters kill themselves against Langolin fields, repel. Now that it doesn't affect the rest of you. You won't see Beelzebub go to 50% and then suddenly be at like 60% with no debuffs on. Um, Belial, the Anagenesis that wipes the raid, no longer wipes the raid. It only kills you and specifically you.
Yeah, that one was already dumb to begin with because you have to manage your meter if you were actually like playing it out.
Hmm.
And the thing was that once he got past 50%, he couldn't be delayed
Mm,
normally. Yeah, he has special delays.
right. So we've got Beelzebub, the solo version, which has the same change as the raid version. And then the Belial solo version actually had different things happen to it. Uh, so the amount of damage that you take from delaying solo Belial is lowered significantly, which, it was one of those big barriers to fighting him at the beginning,
You
like
just
to unlock the
you
fight.
just like you bled to death because well, going back to the whole his second half.
Hmm. And then yeah, so he doesn't skill seal on normal attacks in solo mode anymore, which is good. That was random and it sucked when it happened. All right. Um, that's pretty much the raid changes. Like made the change that they talked about at Fest, where the weapons from the Revans raids can be reduced for 20 of the Revans material. Yay! Great.
Now you don't feel bad when you get a weapon.
Yeah, it's like a weapon. I wanted three like Atomagod chips or whatever you want to call them, plates. Um, so there's that. Yeah, Umikin says it was especially an issue because players couldn't raid find Belial until they could host the raid, which required clearing that solo. And yeah, clearing that solo is a significant barrier. Like players like at our level kind of have forgotten. Like it's a
I
fuzzy
mean,
memory,
it
but
was actually a struggle when we first got it too. That
yeah,
was the thing.
yeah, and we still have crew members who ask us about it. It's like, hey, I can't beat this, and so that'll be easier now. That's good. It's what, a 3-year old raid now? 2? It's old enough that it is a good time for it to be more accessible. Um, and then, oh no, I'm old. Yeah, welcome to it. The other thing to talk about, just a brief little bit, is Dread Barrage. They made a few changes to Dread Barrage. They've talked about these before. Um, but we are now up to 300 badges available in Dread Barrage as long as you unlock um, the 5-star fight, which is worth 40, and then you have 260 in crew honors. Um, let's see, the number of valor badges that can be obtained as honors loot has been increased. There's that one. Yeah. So now it gives you exactly enough for one lapis merit if you go through the whole thing.
That's good. I like that.
Do you care that you cannot get cores from this and that they are still Unite and Fight specific?
I only kind of care, but
Hmm.
that's because it's just an annoyance thing. Because once
Yeah.
again, when's our next Unite fight?
April.
Yeah, it's February right now.
Yeah. And not just that, but wow, I brought dark to this? What the? Don't mind me. I'm helping. I'm helping, Doodpa. This was
That means that
yeah, it's fine.
it died.
I got one honor. Amazing. Great. Great work.
But yeah,
Uh
no, it's really annoying, especially since that because of the drop they included in
mhm.
the last United fight,
Mhm.
that you're not gonna go for that drop.
Yeah,
You're
I
gonna go for if you're anything, you're gonna be crazy like me and actually farm the drop in 90s or 95s. I mean,
yeah. I'm probably not going to do that. I managed to get the one, and then I miraculously got three drops. I thought it was two, but apparently there was just one hiding somewhere. And still, like, this has been just sitting here for, a little over a month. And it's going to continue sitting here for another 2 months. So, yeah. What is it called again? Crystallized core? Something like that? I forget. Actually, there's an easy way for me to figure out what it is. There it is. Crystallized core. Okay.
the joke is actually gonna be that you're gonna need this for what 6-star Eternals because it's their weapon.
Yeah, it's what you used on them to. It's what they're holding in their 6-star, their transcended thing, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it's what they have in Transcendence.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll find out. I care that you still can't get New World Quartz from Dread Barrage. Uh, so I was thinking about this and talking about this a bit, and the whole point of Dread Barrage's existence is to let people catch up on Revenant weapons, because that's why victory certificates exist, right? To just let people catch up on these things without feeling like every Unite and Fight that gets new stuff gets them further and further behind. That said, only having two Dread Barrages a year exacerbates this problem where there's not that much catching up that you can do.
Is it 2 a year?
Was it two?
I thought we only had one last year. Hold
Did we
on,
only have one last year?
I
I
remember
swear
it
we
being
had two.
a long time since the last Dread Barrage.
Let me take a look again. Event history. We had two in 2023. It was March and October. We had three in 2022. We had two in 2021. So in 3 years, we had seven total. And then this year, we have
That's
one.
that's still pretty low.
Yeah.
And but also going to another thing, we only have 6 United fights a year too, so it's very limiting on when we could get courts, especially since we just finished all 10 of the Evoker stuff,
hmm
which was
And
like our other source.
yeah, we only very recently got enough Lapis merits in the shop, plus from promotional codes, to have every Eternal transcended. And we are currently in a position where we're staring straight down the barrel of the use for another 12 of them. Although six is the reasonable person number, but this game isn't necessarily played by all reasonable people, present company included. But
On the Skill Wars, only know courts and crystals can be found in. If only they could be found in Dread Rush. I would love United Fight. I'll let you guys know right now. It's the least amount of thinking ever done in this game.
but
I
where
just look
was
I
it?
just
Was
look at
this one?
who tops and see what funny name they choose this time.
Oh yeah, the themed crews. The themed crews are fun.
I top in this one was actually like Mygo from Bondori.
Do you remember the freaking 29 Kirito 1 Asuna crew all those years ago?
Yeah, I remember
That
that
was
one.
that was one of my favorites of all time, and everybody's message was I must protect
I
Asuna.
must protect Asuna. It was so good.
Oh
2019 was
boy.
there was when quintuples was at its highest peak was there's different quintuplet names just showing up in the
Yeah,
top 100.
the top 100 had like I think we counted it was like at least 30 quintuplets in there. Uh
See, this is
anyway,
what this
yeah.
is why I love Unified because I get to see what other things stupid people do or stupid
Yeah,
things people do.
right. And it's not like you're trying to like uh check their score for what they're doing. It's like you don't care. You're not trying to copy them. You just want to see. Unlike say the um, proving ground scores where you're just like I just like something that I can do. I don't want to see 18 pages of frontings or whatever that kind of thing.
Uh, yeah, I remember I was seeing that improve again. I'm like, you know, this
It's like
top 100 looks the same.
Can I filter these out, please? Because the Tower of Babel let me filter out things that I don't have. Anyway.
I mean, going to seeing the real life example of proving ground was the Granblue Fest this year,
Hmm.
where people are doing a score attack against Beelzebub. I think it was the fights.
Hmm. Yeah, and
He will he will eventually just kill you. By the way,
it was just pages and pages of phrase vulgars, right?
yeah, he's others. Uh, most of them soldiers, and then
Right.
the one and only Relic Buster, and then everything else was still soldiers.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for this week. In the next week, we've got we've got Onmyoji coming up. So by this time next week,
Let's
the new class will be out.
go.
Let's go Onmyoji. Oh, I get to I get to play that song. It's good memories of a bad website.
Stupid old memes.
Stupid old memes. Uh oh, 10th Tech, were you at Granblue Fest to go through all those pages of the score attack? I didn't even bother. I saw what the thing was going to be. It was a turn-based score attack, and I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm
Everyone knew
going
what
to
was
spend
going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to spend my time doing other things. Um, if my phone was out during Granblue Fantasy Fest, I was either writing about Granblue Fantasy Fest or watching Granblue Fantasy Fest because like there was like a either the cosplay stage or there was better stuff to do with my time is what I'm saying. Um, what else is coming next week? We've got Onmyoji, we've got we've got 2B coming in Rising. We'll see what that patch looks like. We have the Princess Connect Gourmet Guild coming to Rising. That'll be fun.
I'm happy.
I'm really curious to hear what English Kokoro and English Carol sound like. English Carol has a very high bar to clear, so I'm very curious.
Well,
You
you
don't
just
play.
need the sassy cat.
You don't. Do you play Nikkei in English? I don't remember.
I don't, but I know what Kaylee Miller sounds like.
Okay. Yeah. Like I was talking about this recently, but there's a huge amount of really good English language talent out there that I only get exposed. I don't watch anime dubs, so I only get exposed to them through, video game dubs, especially like the all-devouring talent pool that is Genshin Impact and all the other gacha games that have, casts of hundreds. So it's really cool hearing them. I really enjoy it. Like I've been super enjoying playing Relic in English. Is the anime not
I'm
dubbed?
actually
It is not.
it's not dubbed. It doesn't have a release in English.
Yeah,
First off,
The only reason that Pecorine has an English voice, it is not because of
Regalia.
Shadowverse. Yeah, it was Dragalia apparently. I was like, huh.
I remember I pulled that character.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Then Kenneron reminds me. It's like, oh yeah, there's Exo Koro next week. We'll talk about the weapon when it comes out. We'll see.
We
We'll
have
see it.
hopes and dreams, and we'll see if those hope dreams are valid.
What were you looking for? Was it Dagger? I forget what we had talked about in terms of sad.
Not dagger. I don't want dagger
Oh, you have
because
Ivory Arc. Yeah.
yeah,
And also, we as a group have the Concordia now. That's right.
yeah. We don't need axe, really.
Oh, it was staff. I think it was staff that we said would
I
be
think it was
really
staff
nice.
because the only staff is Gombatane, and
Hey, there's Saphira Emerald staff. That
yeah, that
it
was what I didn't want
exists.
to say.
There was also the Weather Rod, I think, from One Piece. Anyway,
Yeah, uh,
yeah. Anyway,
sure.
yeah.
I mean,
We'll see.
it does do Thunderstruck.
Yeah. All right. That said, we are going to be uh ending the episode here. Thanks for joining me, DJ. Um, Out of curiosity, DJ, how many of the terminuses do you have in Relink so
Too.
far? Two? Are there any of them for characters that you play?
Nope.
Ooh, rough. You want to just hop on and fight a bunch of Protobahas after this then, or are you good?
Eat first.
Okay. All right. Thanks everybody.